We gonna make our video.
Well, for as long as we need to say what we need to say to get the information out there.
Alrighty.
All right. So we got a very important election that's coming up, May 24th, the primary election, and the
General primary election.
General primary election, and the last day to register in order to vote is when?
April 26th.
So that means if you have moved, if you know right now that you have not voted in at least the last two elections, if you haven't voted in like the last presidential election, I'd be checking your status.
Yeah. If you got married, if you moved, you have to go online, or it's an app on your phone you can use, or you can do the old school way and do an actual written application, but you have to update your information down at the polls. So when you get there, your ID will not match and you will not be allowed to vote, and you'll be mad. You'll be complaining, calling yourself disenfranchised.
So it's important.
Oh, is that right?
It's important to know your status right now, because we got so many important issues and so many important positions that's on the primary ballot. Okay, so what we got? We have all your members of Congress that are up. Regardless if they are opposed or unopposed, they need your vote. Now, I want to tell you something that happened in 2008 and 2012. We had a lot of people who voted for Barack Obama for president, and then what they did, they left everything else blank. So we had a lot of good people that took the time to qualify and run for office, but they did not get your vote because some of you actually thought that you would minimize your vote for president by voting for some of the lesser offices. That is nonsense. Vote a complete ballot. Now, we will make sure that you get the information that you need. We know that whatever district you're in, you're going to have representatives who are on the ballot who will need your support. Regardless if you see their signs or anything like that. So
it's important for them to make an educated choice. Where can they go to find information on the different people running in their area?
The best place is to go to the Secretary of State's website, which is sos.ga.gov. And under the tab Elections, you'll find information about 2016 primary or 2016 candidates. Now, we have a lot of candidates that are on the ballot. And on the Secretary of State's website, you'll be able to find your candidates for judge, Superior Court judge, State Court judge, district attorney in your area. For people who are in Atlanta, you're in the Atlanta Judicial Circuit. For DeKalb, you're in the Stone Mountain Circuit. Clayton, you're in the Clayton Circuit, that type of thing. No, whatever county that you're in, if you're in Cobb, Gwinnett, Coweta, Clayton, go to your county's website, because that county is going to have information about your county commissioners, about your sheriff candidates, because the sheriff candidates will be on the ballot this year, and
your marshals too, right? Is it what is the guy running for in Augusta? I just posted it today. What else is on there?
Well, all the county elected positions but marshals are not elected. Marshals are not elected positions. But you have your sheriff, You have your county commissioner, you have your DA, you have your solicitor.
Oh, yeah.
You have, let's see, some counties have county surveyor, but a lot of those duties have
Isn't
been.
an insurance guy or something, right?
What's
Insurance commissioner or something like
that? Oh,
that?
that's a statewide position.
Oh.
So your Georgia statewide positions, your constitutional officers, we call them, like your governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, they are not up until 2018. So
Oh.
they'll be up in 2 years.
Okay.
But most, other than for president and for Congress, everything else on the ballot is right in your backyard.
Now, what is this? What is this? County. What is that guy?
Okay, let's see. Making history by electing a Richmond County Marshal in Augusta. Okay. Well, I'm not familiar with the position, but I would assume that in that locality, that is the position of marshal must be an elected position.
Mm-hmm.
That's certainly not the case in most other counties. I know for a fact here in Fulton County, the position of marshal is actually it's designated.
Mm.
So it's not elected. So, but it does vary.
And that's the thing. That's why it's very important to look in your location to see, because I have a lot of friends in Michigan and different things. So like sometimes things in Michigan don't apply to Georgia,
Yeah.
like split tickets or straight tickets. What happens here with the actual?
Well, Erica, you raise a very good point, and that is here in Georgia we have what's called open primary, which means in your primary election, the clerk, when you hit the door, they ask you one thing: Democrat or Republican. If you want to vote a Democratic ballot or if you want to vote a Republican ballot. Now, states like Michigan and up north, other states they have what's called a closed primary. So when you register to vote, you're asked to declare what party you want to affiliate with. And when you show up to vote in a primary, you will only be able to vote for Democratic candidates. So that's the difference between a closed primary and an open primary.
But when it's actual time for the general election, you can.
When it's time for the general election, everybody can vote for every candidate of both parties.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, but it's very important for everybody to not just vote. The one thing that I've always believed is it's just essential to cast an informed ballot. I've been on grand jury, I've been on trial juries, and a lot of people have told me, well, I don't feel like registering to vote because I don't want to be on a jury. You know what? We need people like you on juries.
Yeah, those are the people.
And
so when somebody is up, on trial, that you actually have a jury of peers.
Yeah.
If you only have the people who want to throw people in jail showing up for jury duty, then that's how these innocent people are being convicted, because nobody's really having an open mind when they're showing up. So you and I might have an open mind when we show up for jury duty.
Well, and then I think it's our constitutional right. We have a right. If you were accused, you have a right of having a jury of your peers.
Yeah.
And plain ordinary citizens having the ability of deciding the fate of people who are accused of felonies and misdemeanors.
Yeah.
So if that's an issue, I would hope that it is not. I hope that people go ahead and register to vote and I think it's necessary to develop a lifestyle of civic participation. People feel like if they vote this time because of all the craziness or whatever, then after all the craziness is over, it's not important to vote anymore. No, I think that it's important to vote this year and every year as if your life depended on it, because it does.
It really does.
Absolutely does. And look, from the time when I was registered to vote, when I turned 18, I marched myself down to the courthouse and I registered to vote. And ever since that time, I had never missed an election. And I've counted, and I am on 51 straight elections.
So
Never missed.
you do them all.
I've never missed them. I've never missed a runoff. I've never missed a referendum. Anytime that the polls are open, I'm there.
That's impressive.
But I know a lot of people feel like, well, why do I need to vote? I mean, my little vote won't matter. And I've seen in my lifetime too many elections being decided on a couple of votes.
Yeah.
We had an election here in Fulton County, a state senate election in, what was it, 18 years ago, 1998, that went down to a single vote.
Wow.
And that could have been your vote because you decided, well, I had something else better to do.
Yeah.
And so you just can't emphasize it enough.
That's why I think
voting.
that the general primary election is actually more important to me than the actual general election or the primary election what is it? What's the one for the president?
The presidential primary?
Presidential primary.
Presidential primary that was last month.
No, the one in November.
That's a general election.
So the general election, okay, so when we vote on the 24th, I think it's more, it affects us more because you are picking those judges. You are picking those people who have a influence on your life every day. Like when you go to court, you want to fight a ticket. That's who you're picking, who you talk to. You know, the person that's sitting the House of Representatives or the Senate when all of this legislation and they're changing the laws and voting on bills and things like that. Those are the people that are easily accessible, that you can call,
right.
That you can go down to their office. And the thing is, we don't do it, and it's surprising just how much of an impact we have when just maybe 5 or 10 of us do it because we're not exercising it right. So when you see all of these different, the power that people have when they're petitioning and boycotting, because normally nobody participates in the actual state and local part of elections and government. So the impact that just me and you, when I was down at the state capitol, I promise y'all probably don't believe me, but they actually changed the bill because I went down there 3 times. Me, little old me. They actually, I will pull it up. They put 2 things in there that I wanted in there. And it was just me. So I know like you have all of these experiences and friends, all your political friends. I'm sure you guys can like get all kind of stuff passed, like recreational marijuana and
well, I'm not sure where we went on that, but
no, seriously, just the influence that a couple of people could have on the laws and bills and things like that is immeasurable, because those are the things that actually affect you in the state, in the city, in your county. Not actually, war and things like that. Yes, the big things are important, but those really small things, who's judging you, who's making that final call on officers, because is it the sheriff that they elect to?
Yes.
Yeah, the sheriff. So those people are the ones that you actually holding accountable, for things that are happening.
Yeah. So
we have to get out
we have to absolutely get out.
May 24th.
And
make sure you're voting.
And when you see either on Facebook or newspaper, if you take the time to read newspaper, if you hear about a forum that's in your neighborhood, take the time to go.
Yes.
And take the time to study the candidates, listen to the candidates, and make a decision for yourself. Mm-hmm. Who is the best person to represent you? Yeah. So many people tell you that, well, I am the most qualified. Well, only you are the one that can make that determination, not the candidates. Now, the candidates will tell you, vote for me because I am the most qualified. But you're the one who makes that decision.
Yeah.
So
Because when you weigh in advertising and campaigning dollars and things like that, sometimes you have people who are really just more popular or more rich than the other people, and they're able to keep putting their images in their faces and even discrediting people. There might be actually a good candidate, but that other person might just have that much more money, to keep on bad mouthing somebody who really would be a better choice. So yeah. Definitely do your research. Just don't look at who's popular, who you keep seeing, or believing what you see on the television or, national news or.
Well, and for local races, the TV media here in Atlanta, they don't really pay attention to the local races. So that means that you are going to have to educate yourself.
TV thing. We should do one. We should do like some sort of when they all come up for a debate. We should make them debate, or at least interview them on TV. They should have to say something, because a lot of times they're not offering enough information online for you to even make a informed decision.
Well, look, I ran 4 years ago, and one of the things that was very important to me is I recognized that we couldn't get all the information out to citizens. I had a senior citizen that told me, look, all these people are running, but I can't get the information that I need.
See, yeah.
And so we gotta find a way to make this process meaningful, informative, and interesting.
Yeah.
So that's what I think that what needs to happen. And until the last vote is counted, we will be there. What do you say?
I'm going to share this on my media too, so I need for you to tell my friends who you are, because they know who I am, but they don't know who you are.
All right, so my name is Kip Carr. I wear a whole lot of different hats. I am a political consultant in Atlanta. In 2012, I ran for House District 62, which is the seat that is now being vacated by LaDon Blackett-Jones. There are 6 people in that race. Count them, 6. I'm also the treasurer of the State Democratic Party, and I have been involved in this whole political process for, let's just say, a lot of cycles, quite a few cycles. When I was a young pup, I remember the Democratic convention that was here in Atlanta, and
what year was that?
Well, that was.
Come on, tell your age. What year was that?
That was in 1988. All right, it was in 1988. Yeah. So.
But Jesse Jackson ran.
Yep, Jesse Jackson ran, and I was on the Dukakis, Michael Dukakis. I was on his campaign, and I was deployed to Piedmont Park. Jesse Jackson had a bus capade that came in because he was kind of felt dejected once Dukakis had named Lloyd Bentsen as the running mate, because Jesse Jackson thought he should be the running mate because he came in second place in delegate votes. Mm-hmm. Sound familiar?
No, tell me.
So yeah, I mean it had already, the decision had been made by that time, and so when Michael Dukakis came into Atlanta, he made the decision not to have Reverend Jackson on his ticket, and a network reporter who I shall not name actually came up to me and asked me that I know, and I said, yeah, I think it's this person. And about 10 minutes later, they went on national news with a tip that I think I gave them. So I don't know if I had anything to do with that, but anyway.
Yeah, I don't mean to toot my own horn,
but I've been excited. But the process has been very interesting, and Atlanta has certainly changed since then. Atlanta was still kind of like a small southern town. The convention kind of helped catapult the Olympics, and of course the world watched Atlanta, and I remember Erica, Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, watching the sea of people the sea of brown people in India and Pakistan was playing soccer over in Morris Brown's field. I thought that was just fantastic. But Atlanta's been a wonderful place, and I'm glad to be here. But aside from all of that, we have got to be real serious about making sure that people like you have the tools that you need to make educated, informed choices. So now, why don't you introduce yourself to my circle?
I'm Erica Williams. I am from Flint, Michigan. I am a newbie to all political, so that's why I ask my questions. I'm really comfortable with asking questions because I want to be knowledgeable. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I am a small business consultant. I do a lot of lending and business acquisitions, commercial real estate sales. That's what I do by trade, but what I really like to do is working with those grassroots organizations and connecting them to civic service, politics and things like that, where they really can have their voices heard. So that's my new passion, is really getting out there. So I have to hang with people like this that are really like juiced up in the political industry. You juiced up. Yep. So Our Money Matters is my nonprofit, and so for the next 30 days, I'll be really pushing people to vote in a general primary election. I've sent a couple. I think I did 20 people this week, getting people deputized to actually hold their own voter registration drives for Fulton County. And so I'll be pushing out information to everybody on where they can go to find out more about people running in their cities and states, for the general primary election. So
that's fantastic, because when you have people, I remember when I was like 16 and 17 and I was developing like voter registration, voter education programs up north, and I had older people come to me and said, "Young man, you're not old enough to do these types of things, and you need to wait your turn." Well, no, this is our time, and I'm not going anywhere. So, so you got to get over that. So this, we need 10,000 more people like Erica. We need more people to be informed and to be interested and engaged in this process. So a barber said to me, "Well, all this politics is BS." Well, it's not going to go anywhere.
Who is Barbara?
No, barber. A barber.
Oh, your barber.
So,
Yeah, some people, it is and it's not. It is and it's not. But, the other day, was it, you weren't at the thing that TJ had when they had the, something at the ballots. What was it called?
Oh, I saw it, yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice, but this guy was actually talking about the actual meaning of politics, the definition of it, which is like don't quote me, but it was a small number of people basically making the rules for everybody else to go by. So that's the thing, you got to really know the game, and then if you know the game, then you know how to play it, and it's not so much of bull crap. It's when you don't understand what's going on, it appears to be bull crap because you're uninformed.
Well, I mean, people say that they don't like politics, but they look in their daily life, and we're here because politics affected our life from the time we were born. All of us were issued birth certificates. That was politics involved in that. When, some of us had to be immunized. That was a political decision that was made. When we went to school or where we went to school, I mean, my gosh, yes, that was absolutely a political decision that was made. So whether you like it or not, politics has affected your life. You can choose to acknowledge it, but even if you don't, it's still going to affect your life. I think that a lot of people wait, unfortunately, and get involved only when it affects them directly or them personally.
Yeah.
And
like you run into somebody who's not doing their job, and then you want to get them fired.
Well, or if a family is the victim of a crime, they're not, perhaps that family is not interested prior in getting involved because they're too busy trying to eke out a living. And now they want changes to the system, and they want it like right away. But the system, as unfair as it is, it needed their seat at the table when they were doing other things. But we still have to be sensitive enough for everybody, regardless, and that's one thing that I feel very strongly about. And this is an election like no other. So, when you see the talking heads on CNN, take their analysis with a grain of salt, and know that CNN, Fox, MSNBC, a lot of those pundits are being paid a lot of dollars to make you think about things, and a lot of it is what we call infotainment.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great word.
So, they're no different from TMZ.
Yeah.
It is so bad that somebody who's very political like myself, I'm more inclined to watch Cartoon Network, because I think there's a lot more intelligent thought in some of the cartoons than what some of the things that we're seeing these days.
Yeah.
So that's all I have. You want to say anything else?
No, but I just want to thank you for doing what you've done and the sacrifices that you make to, educate people and build, because it's all about us finding people who are going to represent us and getting them in those slots. So if the people that you're bringing to the table are those type of people, then I salute you. But don't be bringing no people because they paid you and they really not going to make decisions for everybody.
I agree with that.
Because I will hold you accountable, sir.
And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. But we could go for at least a couple of hours on that one subject alone.
No.
So.
Because when you start talking about accountability, that's another hour.
Well, then when you're talking about contracts and people at the table and.
Yeah, that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, but and I want to thank you for everything that you're doing. Getting people to the polls and making it plain to people the strength that they have in their hands by voting cannot be overstated. And so whatever it takes for us to continue shaking people up,
yes,
whatever it takes, by any means necessary, I think that's what we will do.
I'm on your side. I'm in with this guy.
All right, so that's all for now, and stay tuned.